Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Today we're talking about Haidyn's hope. It's kind of tagging on to the other video we did the other day about kids using their terminally ill children to raise money, to do things. Is it for research? Sometimes, but is it mostly for themselves? Yes. And Haidyn's hope, Carrie, is out there begging, dry begging, e-begging, whatever you want to call it, for a $400,000 house. Meanwhile, we've discovered some things, and Reddit has discovered some things. She's just straight up grifting now, and it's pissing me off. Let's talk about it. Okay, so back in the day, I did a video on two of these Haidyn's hope, or two of the San Filippo mothers who were grifting off of their child. I think we made a salient argument. I got a lot of hate for doing those videos. I don't know if something has switched, but the last video I did about Bree is stronger than cancer, and the other lady who's putting her kid in the car and going to the hospital, I didn't get any hateful comments. I didn't, not one. I think people just realized that I'm right, and maybe it took one of those big videos, which was the Haidyn's Hope and the other one, San Filippo moms, to actually start to spark the conversation. And I think people realize that we're right. Us who think that exploiting these children who have terminal illnesses is wrong. I don't care. It's just wrong. Now, if you want to raise awareness and raise money for San Filippo, awareness and towards the medical side of it all and all this stuff, that's awesome. Good for you. If you want to use your child in a couple of videos to show what it looks like, to early signs, all that kind of stuff, I'm okay with that too, right? But as far as Carrie Fowler's concerned on Haidyn's Hope, it was literally every single damn video she was posting her child in, and putting her feeding tube in, all these kinds of stuff. And I'm not even super against like one video on like, hey, here's how you do a G-tube or whatever you call it, and hey, here's this. But it was every single day, every video, and she gained, literally, I'm blocked. She blocked me because she's a coward. She doesn't want to hear about it. But I had to go on to, this. But she's gained 1.3 million followers, and has a backup account with 100,000 followers on it as well, just because you need a backup account, right? That's because it's all about having everything else. And we are going to talk about Bree Stronger Than Cancer again. What's her name? Kendra as well this week. I'm interviewing someone has had some interactions with her. But these don't get this twisted, everybody. This is a massive grift. And it has been since day one. When you realize you can fundraise off of it for your own personal gain, they do. They go to the depths and they will do it. So she's gained 1.3 million followers. She said she was going to stop using her child, and to her credit, she did. Sort of. Not really. Just not as much. So I don't know if it was my video that sparked the conversation about it. I know that she absolutely hates my guts, and she tried to mobilize her fans after me. Isn't it crazy, though, that you've got this online hatred for somebody who calls it child exploiters, and you mobilize the fan base that you grew off of your terminally ill child to go after somebody? Like, that's the use of your time. The same thing with Kendra, what's going on right now is that if your child is truly terminal, and I do believe that these women are not lying about that, why are you spending your time online arguing, making videos? Go spend time with your child, okay? Like, spare me. I don't want to hear this, like, this is how I grieve. Off with that bullshit. Go spend time with your family, okay? Because Carrie Fowler over here, like, I wasn't ever going to talk about her again because of the hate that I received from her fans. And I do believe that she's already going through a nightmare. I do believe that. I'm not saying that she's not. I'm not saying that her and her husband are going through this and that medical costs are enormous and all that kind of stuff. He's an electrician, and I don't know about where they live, but where I live, an electrician makes buttloads of money. Okay? If you are a good electrician, if you are a journeyman or whatever you call it, you're probably pulling in, I'm not even kidding, if you got your own truck and your own little business, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Now, they probably have hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but from what I've heard, they got lots of benefits to cover most of it, and I think that she has even said that. So now that she's up here on TikTok grifting for a literal $400,000 house, people are pissed. Okay, so here's what she's asking for, and we're going to do a little Tarantino, and we're going to go back, but this is it.
I'm not going to suffer in silence, so I'm asking for your help. And you can judge me, but I'll never know unless I ask. I'm not.
Says the woman who's got her hair done, her nails done, she's got piercings all over. I just never know if I don't gonna. Like, this is bullshit. You just don't ask. In this climate that we live in, everybody is struggling, okay? Everybody's got a problem. But because they grew their platforms to 1.3 million, Carrie did, and I tag her in with Kendra because this is this whole little conglomerate of people who have kids who are sick, who are just literally grifting off their sick children, and I think it's disgusting, okay? But also because they have this platform, they think they can just use it, and they do. And I mean, it's up to people who want to donate to this, but I think you should be educated before you donate to this, okay? But like, hey, I got this platform and I'm just going to ask.
Not asking those of you that cannot do it. I'm asking those of you that want to and that can. 6 years ago, we moved in with my in-laws into their basement after selling our house. Shortly after...
I need to point out this too. I know I'm going to stop this, but we moved into our in-laws after selling our house, and I don't know why they sold their house, and she doesn't get into explanation of why they sold their house, because they had a house, okay? But she's making it sound like they moved into their in-laws and it's like tight with space. Apparently, allegedly, it is a 12,000 square foot home with its own basement, literally its own basement home. So it's like their own home down there. They've got a kitchen, they've got a bathroom, they've got bedrooms, they've got a walkout. Apparently it's on massive amount of acreage. They got golf carts, they've got everything they can imagine. Apparently it's his parents and they're wealthy. Okay? I don't know if it's hundreds of acres, but I think it's dozens of acres that they live on. So they're not squeezed together in a little trailer or anything like that, okay? They're living in a 12,000 square foot mansion. So I don't want to hear it.
My youngest daughter, Haidyn, who is now 10, was diagnosed with Sanfilippo syndrome, a rare, terminal, and neurodegenerative disorder that is slowly taking her away from us every single day. She has type A, which is the quickest to progress form of Sanfilippo syndrome, and she is following the typical timeline of progression, if not even a little faster. The average life expectancy is 12 to 20 or mid to late teens, and like I said, Haidyn is 10. I know that we don't know if we have a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. We don't know how much time we have with her.
And the fact that she's using that as a bargaining chip with the people that follow her, that's what makes me feel a little icky. I don't know if we have a week or 15 years, but we need a fucking house right now. Like, does that not make you feel a little icky that she's using that as leverage? Right? So you could have 10 years. You could have 5, 15 years. So why don't you just go buy your own damn house? And you're going to find out soon that they absolutely could. But they're grifting. And it's just disgusting. And her excuse, the other excuse, though, is going to blow your mind.
We have been dealt a really hard hand while at the same time being graciously protected living in my in-laws' basement. But something crazy happened over the weekend. We found out that a neighbor unfortunately passed away, but their family is getting ready to sell the home. The home backs up into my in-laws' property. So we would still be right through the woods or right around the corner on the road to my in-laws to be able to help them in any way that we can.
Sounds like they're helping you. Doesn't sound like, it sounds like you're taking, not giving. What do you mean be able to help them? So are you saying, so this is the thing, right? So if are you admitting right now that they need help? So then why would you leave them? Right? You're living in a 12,000 square foot home, which sounds like you're probably in the basement of a big home, which is likely between 3,000 and 5,000 square feet that you live in, which is bigger than most people's houses, okay? Okay, 12,000 square. Again, this is all alleged because I cannot find a listing, and somebody on the Reddit, which we're going to look through soon here, has said that they live in a 12,000 square foot home. That's what I'm going off of, and I believe it because they've dug up some other things. But like, so if they need you, why are you leaving? Right? It's just, again, it's totally unnecessary. They don't need to do this. They had a home, and they have property, and so she's just like, I'm just gonna go for it. She's unashamedly begging on the internet for something she doesn't need and like making people feel something that to get something from them, and using her daughter to do it, which I think is disgusting.
Also have them help support us with Haidyn, but we would have our own space. Ultimately, I'm going to
have your own space. It's in the basement.
Say the biggest.
Are they having raves upstairs or something? Are they like, what are they doing? Like, I don't get it.
Out loud. And I don't care if you judge me. I don't care if you understand. I don't want my baby to die in her grandparents' home.
That is absolutely unbelievable that she said that. So then go buy a home. And also, what does it matter? You're in a 12,000 square foot home. This kid has everything she needs that you have literally grifted off of. You have raised money for everything that she has. This bed that she has, all the things that she has, it's all been like donated to you. They were gifted an RV. Don't forget this. We're going to get to this again in a second. Actually, what does it matter? You're surrounded by loved ones. You don't want your child to die surrounded by loved ones? That sounds really weird, right? So her only excuse for wanting this new home, because it's just become available on the property, is that I don't want my daughter dying in this 12,000 square foot home with her family. Like, hear that for a second and just put that all together. Because some people are way worse off than that. Some people don't get the luxury of choosing where their child dies. Okay? And she's just like, I don't care if you judge me. And she doesn't. She's literally like, this is her last ditch to be like, I don't care. I'm going to go for this. I'm going for broke in every single way. I don't care. And she doesn't. Would you do this if you were almost guaranteed a $400,000 house? Would you do it? A lot of people would do it. She has no shame whatsoever.
I don't want my baby to die in someone else's home, whether it is family or not, a home that we are not meant to be in forever, a home that we will leave. Ideally, I want it to be our forever home, and this could be our forever home. No, we
grifting.
Can't afford a mortgage. That's why I'm raising money on a GoFundMe for those that can and want to help.
Don't forget she said that. That's really important. No, we cannot afford a mortgage. You got to remember she said that.
And I promise you, until the day that I die, everybody will know how grateful I am.
No, they won't, because she got an RV from Camper World, and imagine how grateful you'd be if you had, got an RV for free. How grateful would you be? Apparently she did one video about that, and we've never heard about it since. So she's lying about that too. This is the grifter's heart, right? They get what they want, and then they completely kind of forgot how they got it, right? And then they move on to the next grift. That's how this works. That's how this works. That's how these people who e-beg on the internet, this is what dry begging does. You're so used to dry begging that it's like you got the thing and you know you're going to get it, and then you just move on to the next one.
Everybody will know how grateful I am that a home was taken care of for my family in their toughest situations, so that we didn't have to add more stress to my husband's plate as the provider, more stress to my plate as a full-time caregiver and still mother of two.
That's your life, though. You don't get to put that on other people. Like, it's just not people's responsibility. It is your life, and yes, you were dealt a shitty hand of cards, but your husband is not poor, okay? And wait till you see the assets these people. I just can't wait to get to it. You guys are going to be flabbergasted.
And allow my oldest to have even more normalcy for a year until she leaves for college. Yes, we have talked.
You heard that, college, which you probably paid for.
To the seller, they know we want it if we can raise the money. And some may never agree with me asking this or understand why I'm asking.
No, we understand we're asking, and you have lost literally tons and tons and tons of support, by the way. She's lost so much support. And TikTok, you don't even need to read the comments on TikTok, because they're all going to be like, yes, Queen Slay. You just got to go to the real place, Reddit. Because there are a bunch of people who are like, I used to support Carrie, and after this, no longer support her. But she is getting shitloads of money right now.
But I know I will live with regret if I don't ask, because it is this home, this location. It has a wheelchair ramp already. It's got a one-car garage that my vehicle can fit in, so I can get her inside and outside without getting caught in the elements. It's right around.
Are you hearing this? I don't want to get rained on. I'm sure the house you live in right now probably has a 3-car garage, right? I just my daughter needs normalcy before she leaves forever. You gotta be kidding me. These guys live better than most people are living right now, and they are begging for a $400,000 house. In this economy, people can't even buy f***ing eggs.
On the corner from my supportive family and still not far from my parents. But it would be our own sacred space for when that time comes and my baby passes. That we as
Why can't this be a sacred space? Again, the guilt that she's putting on people to be like, you just need to buy me a home so that my daughter can die in her own home. It's insane to me that she's saying these things.
Family will be able to have peace, privacy, and a place to grieve.
Are you saying that this house, again, what are you doing? You're throwing your in-laws under the bus? Are you saying that this place that you live in, this 12,000 square foot mansion that you live in right now, will not be a place of peace? Will not be, what are you saying right now? Why not? Again, are these, what are they doing up there? Are they cooking meth? What are they doing upstairs that you're so upset you need to leave? She was fine until something came up, right? She's like, this is the grifter's heart, right? Something came up, and she's probably a really impulsive or compulsive, I forget the name of it, shopper, right? She probably buys things last minute and always does things. Like, something has come up, and she's like, oh, I need to, like, she's trying to manifest this, and it's not even a grifter, it's con. The language that's coming out of her mouth, she's a con artist. She'd be a good car salesman, okay? Trying to find anything possible to say, whatever it is, to get this house, and she doesn't care.
However we may need to, and a place that we can shut the world out. And until that...
Can you not do that here?
Time comes, I hope I get to spend every day sitting on the front porch with Haidyn. I have seen the internet bring out the best in community and villages and
the worst in people who will use their terminally ill child to raise money.
Do so much for so many.
What about raising $400,000 for Sanfilippo Syndrome Foundation to find a cure? I don't see you putting your energy into that. And I know she has, and the other one has. They have raised money for it. But like, it's crazy the energy they'll put into getting themselves enriched, but not the energy they will put into, you know, the whole overall. And they're all about raising awareness and let's get it out there. And imagine she did this. We would all be applauding her. You raised $400,000 for Sanfilippo Foundation for finding a cure. You're amazing. You should deserve all the accolades. No. It's about finding me a home, because you're going to find out soon that she can afford her own home.
I have also seen it be completely brutal to people like me that are asking this.
And you deserve
it. You here on TikTok will not be. Instagram has definitely ran me through the mud. Yep. But
you deserved it.
If I can have this wish granted for my family, that will bring so much peace, harmony, less stress, ease, and dignity to my family.
Dignity at what cost? Your dignity. You're literally here e-begging in a climate where people can't afford homes at all. Like, at all. And you're like, dignity, F off. Again, what is it about living in a 12,000 square foot house that doesn't give you any dignity? Like, she doesn't go on to explain more, right? Again, what is so bad with your in-laws' house, who have graciously let you live there? I would feel so upset and angry if they're like, if you get in there and be like, we need to get the F out of here. What for? Like,
that's okay. Ruin my name.
Oh, wow.
Ruin my name.
You deserve it.
Because it will be worth it in the long run for my baby. And I'll spend every waking day in that home knowing how blessed we are to have this opportunity because of the village we have built over the past 5 years.
The following I built.
I love you. I'm not going to...
F off. Okay, so here it is. Here's the GoFundMe. And it's already raised almost $150,000. Holy shit. Okay, so here's the home that she wants to buy. It's got a ramp, and I'm like, a lot of people were making comments, and it truly, maybe you could have raised money to build a ramp. I mean, you probably could have got a ramp built for free. A local contractor would have done it for one shout out on TikTok, been like, hey, this guy built us this amazing ramp, would have done it for free. What's a ramp cost? $2,000? Right? But no, I need a house, not a ramp. I need a fucking house. It comes with a ramp, though. Here it is. We never thought we'd be here, but life is a way of reshaping everything. 6 years ago, when our daughter Haidyn was diagnosed, blah, blah, blah. Last week, something happened that tugged our hearts. A neighbor died, so we want their house. A small cabin, which is, I think it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath cabin on 5 acres with a ramp already built. 5 acres. This home represents something we haven't had in years. Peace, privacy, and a place of our own. Again, you live in a 12,000 square foot home. It would allow us to stay connected to Kayla's parents through the woods, remain in the community we love, and give both. I said all that shit. We can't afford a mortgage in our situation. The only way this dream would become possible is the home is fully funded, paid with cash. Don't forget property taxes and everything else. How are you going to pay all that? The asking price will likely be between $350,000 and $375,000. So I'm going to raise an extra $25,000 just on top, because we need things. We need target hauls. It feels impossible to even write that number, and swallowing my pride and share this one is the hardest things I've ever done. So we're asking for help. If you feel called to give, share, simply blah, blah, blah. Most peace and comfort possible. Like, again, Haidyn's peace and comfort is in you, her mother, and her father. Where she is doesn't matter. Haidyn doesn't give a shit where she is, as long as she's with you. So you're grifting off of a lie, by the way. Haidyn is like, hey, I prefer this cabin in the woods. She doesn't give a shit. And you're putting those words in her mouth. From the bottom of her heart, thank you for seeing us, loving us. And apparently it's been taken out, but I think she said somewhere early that if she doesn't raise all the money, she will give everybody back the money. I don't see that anymore, and it looks like she took that off. So, So I think she's getting, okay, well, we raised half of the money, right? Not half, almost half. And so she said that if she didn't raise the money, she would give it all back, and now has taken that language out of this. So, SpaghettiOs is all we're saying here. And so here's another thing she did, and this is where it all started. She made this post here.
I don't want my daughter to die here while we live in my in-laws' basement. There. I said the quiet part out loud. The part that nobody ever wants to say out loud. Have to say out loud, especially a parent of a young child. My daughter is 10. She has Sanfilippo syndrome. She was diagnosed at 5 shortly after we moved here. We sold our house, we sold everything we had, and we moved here into my in-laws' basement because we were given land. And while
they were already given land, guys. They were already given it.
We are so incredibly thankful to have this opportunity because I quite honestly don't know how we would have made it otherwise. We've got to get out of here. The whole point was to move here so that we could build our dream home, so that Haidyn could also be a part of that. Her having a terminal diagnosis with an average life expectancy of 12 to 20, some younger, some older. She's 10 with the most severe form and progressing.
Like, she's got it down to a science. Like the sales pitch, she's got it down. She said it so many times, it just flows, right? Between 12 to 15, she's 10 to get. She said it so many times on the grift that it's just second nature to her.
Quicker than most. We don't know if we have months or years. I hope and pray it's years. She is not actively dying, but she has progressed so quickly.
She's not actively dying, they just said. They just said that. And in the same, after she says 2 seconds before that, she could be months, and then she says she's not actively dying. So what in the kind of language is that? What are you saying right now?
Since we moved here 6 years ago this month. I have spent the last 5 years advocating for Sanfilippo syndrome, helping other children be properly diagnosed, raising funds to go towards the Cure Sanfilippo Foundation and other fundraisers to help children like my daughter, all while in the process learning and having to accept that even if a cure was found tomorrow, at this point it would not save my daughter, and I will always continue to advocate until there is a cure, regardless if it saves Haidyn or not. But I have spent years putting myself on the back burner and everything, all to fight. And then,
what do you mean, put yourself on the back burner? You built a following of 1.3 million subscribers about yourself while you're here with all your tattoos and all your piercings and your boobs out and everything else, sitting here making a video. Like, again, you can't afford a home, but you can afford sleeve tattoos and piercings and get your hair done and your nails done and everything else. And, like, come on now. Are you guys trying to pick up on this? Like, it's always the people who, like, I can understand. Like, I think the reason that people are pissed at Carrie is because they're seeing through the grift, right? You can tell when someone actually needs something versus when somebody's just begging because they just want to give it a shot because they want to try. She doesn't need anything. Okay, they want for nothing. She just told you she was gifted 160 acres. In the same phrase where she's begging someone to buy her 5 more acres and a literal $400,000 home.
2 nights ago, I was reading notifications here on TikTok, and I saw a comment that took me to a video I posted a little over a year ago, about how Sanfilippo syndrome had progressed in my daughter over the last so many years.
And you didn't know this?
I lost it, because in that moment, I realized how much grief I still had, how much anger I still had, how much sadness I still had, and how much I wrongfully blamed myself and my husband for where we are today, that we are still in my in-laws basement. And
again, unless someone shows me the video, why did she sell their home? Unless she says, look, we had to sell our home because our medical debt was so outrageous that was the only way to get out of the medical debt. And I'd be like, okay, I get it. Then that sucks. I totally get that. But I don't hear that. Why did they sell the home? And don't forget that if the medical debt that's going on right now, why don't you just raise money for your medical debt? No, it's a home, right? Because in the end, if the medical debt takes over, your home's going to get sold anyway. The bank's going to take it too. So again, she keeps saying she can't get a mortgage, but I'm going to prove to you that I think that that's a lie.
And that we should have done more, we should have been more, we should have worked harder, we should have saved more. And that video showed me everything, even without showing everything that we have been through in the past 5 or 6 years. This diagnosis completely ravaged our lives, our savings, our plans. And you know what? Even in the midst of sitting in the rubble right now and just learning to process the grief, learning to process all the emotions I have not felt, and
How can
seeing...
you process things you have not felt? Like, you can't process it, you haven't felt it. Like, again, she's just rabbling. She's just mumbling on bullshit because she's just making videos, content.
That we are still here, feeling like we are at rock bottom. I'm so thankful because it's...
Imagine your rock bottom is living in a 12,000 square foot house with a couple other people who are elderly, who probably just, you know, make scones and have tea. That's your rock bottom. Your rock bottom is someone gifting you an RV and then begging for a bigger one, a fifth wheel. Your rock bottom is living on like 100,000 acres. Your rock bottom's been given acres. Your rock bottom is going on vacations and Make-A-Wish Foundation giving you shit. And like your rock bottom is just grifting and having people pay for all your Amazon wish list. That's your rock bottom? Like, I hope people who are watching this who are actually struggling in life look at this and just sneer. Like, can you listen to yourself for a second? This is not rock bottom. You are living better than most people live on Earth, especially in the US. Like, give me a break.
It's made me a better person. It's made our family closer and stronger, and we love each other so much that even through our life continuing to crumble in so many ways.
It just sounds like they're bad with money. That's what it sounds like. And like, she's like, look, I don't care if we're bad with money. I'm going to continue to beg for money. Having a husband as an electrician, there are probably benefits that they have too, medical benefits. There's not any way that there's not nothing. They've also been given a ton too. So I don't believe it at all.
We have still become closer and fought harder to make it. But all of that to say, the whole point of moving out here was so that Haidyn could live in our homes. That is why we sold our home and everything where she had a room. She had...
Are you saying in this 12,000 square foot house she doesn't have a room?
A home that was hers, because I don't want her to die here.
Why did you leave? Because you're like, we're gonna build our dream home. So you sold your home to get money to pay for your dream home, and then you didn't build it. What happened in that place? And I'm gonna show you likely what happened in that time.
I want her to die in somebody else's home. I don't want her to die here and then I move shortly after. I mean, I don't know that. I have no idea what her destiny is, what my destiny.
She was soft launching it here. This was done August 7th. I don't know, when was this? July 7th? This was July 7th. So she was soft launching it here. She wanted to see what kind of play this would get.
Is like, no, we don't know that, but I don't know. So what I'm saying is I'm being very vulnerable right now and saying I have this platform. I have 1.3 million of you that I am so thankful for that have been there and watched us move through the past 5 or 6 years. You've learned about Sanfilippo syndrome, Haidyn, and so many children like her. You have helped us raise thousands and thousands and get other kids properly diagnosed with something most medical professionals have never heard of. But I have 1.3 million of you. I have the platform and another platform on Instagram with almost 500,000. How can I now decide to utilize this platform to help change my family's life?
Are you saying you're not getting paid for 1.3 million followers and 500,000 on Instagram? You're already getting paid for that. That's a big platform. You're probably getting paid big bucks already for that. Where's all that money going? Your husband is a fucking electrician. Where's all your money? What have you done with all the money you've already raised? Where the is your money? What have you done with it? You guys are terrible with money, and that's the problem. You're like, well, look, I have this. I'm unapologetically now going to ask people on the internet, after spending all of our money, I want more.
We can hopefully build a home. It doesn't even have to be a huge fancy home, just a home that is safe and good enough for us.
Why are no comments in your video? Why did you sell your other home that you had this thing in, where she had her own room, where you had a place? Why did you sell it? Why?
It can be simple. I'm such a simple person. I just want my daughter to have her own room and her own space, and a space that is just ours before that time comes. I'm feeling like a mom that is running out of time. My oldest is about to be a senior, and then we'll be heading off to college, and then hopefully, and then my youngest is 10 with Sanfilippo syndrome.
Really? I didn't know that. Thanks for telling us all that.
And the past 5 or 6 years have just flown by, and it was just one hit after another, whether it be a skill or ability lost, procedures, appointments, other pieces of life. Like, I haven't even shared all the other shit that goes on in life outside of just that little piece that you know.
So, listen to her. I've only ever shared with you that my daughter's terminal. Everything else, I don't share anything. She's just admitting to you out loud. She's saying it out loud.
That is also not a little piece. I'm just rambling because I'm really, really vulnerable and uncomfortable sharing this, but it is time that I say, I need help. I need advice. I need guidance. I'm willing to do what it takes to change my family's life. I don't want to do TikTok shop, but if I have to do TikTok shop, my husband...
So do TikTok shop then. You know what? I don't want to do that, so then you don't care. Because if you're willing to do anything, the first thing you're going to do is grift and do a thing. I don't want to do more work. Do more work!
He works his ass off, and yes, he should be in a way better position with how hard he works, and I'm so proud of him and how hard he works every single day.
So you're hearing it now? You're starting to get it? Why isn't he in a better position? What's going on? What is going on in the that she's not showing us that they are spending their money on? Are there addictions? Are there things that are being spent that are ruining it? And she's just sitting out here being like, well, something's going on. As an electrician, and it sounds like he's been one for years and years. If you're not making the kind of money, you should then go to another place and they'll hire you. You know how hard it is to find electricians, like good electricians? Then they will pay you anything.
But if I can utilize this platform and take some stress off of him, I will.
You make money on these platforms already.
I want to transform my family's life.
And so I want to ask all you assholes out there to do it.
I want to find a way to do it as I caregive for my child, because I'm not willing to give up the time I have with her. And I don't want my husband to have to work more and lose more time with her when he already carries enough guilt for the time he does lose with her and our oldest. Because if you know my husband, you know he is also a very, very involved dad. I feel more comfortable doing this because I already don't share Haidyn like I used to, and I cannot make money off of old stuff. So, how are you other creators transforming your lives from social media? What are you doing? Because I've done my good deeds, and I'm going to keep doing them regardless of this. So, for once, even though it's really, really, really...
She honestly thinks she's owed this. That's the problem here.
Really hard for me. I'm choosing myself in every way, even financially, even with my platforms, and I'm working really hard not to have guilt surrounding it, because I have spent years caring for everybody else.
You mean your daughter? You've spent years caring for your daughter, which you need to, because that's like the audacity. We all are parents. We care for our children. That's literally what we're here for. And she's sitting here being like, I've done it. I've taken care. So do we all. All of us do. What do you mean? So you're owed a home for it?
And at this point, I can't lose me in the process, and I will have so much guilt. Even if it's not deserved, and I shouldn't carry
what
it.
What a grifting.
Here. I want her to die in our home.
Oh my, stop saying that, man. It's so gross that she keeps saying that.
In our privacy. And I want us to have a place where we grieve that, just us. And again, I hope that it is no time soon, but it is something...
But you never could be tomorrow. We need a home because it could be tomorrow. She's not actively dying. She's not... listen to this, what she's saying here. This is why people are upset. So someone says, GoFundMe, please. And she says, I'd much rather work for it in some way and utilize the platform I have. I know it may be a pride thing, but I struggle with asking just for money. She says on July 7th, and then a month later is like, I need $400,000. Clearly you don't struggle with it that much. Have you been in touch with something like Make-A-Wish? She's already given Wish. And this is where we get into what she has. All right. Don't forget that Carrie Fowler from Haidyn's Hope was gifted an RV from Make-A-Wish Foundation so they go do RV trips, which, okay. And then was upset because the RV wasn't big enough. which I can understand that. Why did you ask for an RV then? Right? And begged Camper World to give her a bigger RV that would fit, I guess, her wheelchair and all the things that she needs. And I get that, okay? And Camper World said, yeah, we'll give you a bigger one. Just we need some promotion, cross-promotion, all this kind of stuff. We'll do that. And apparently she did maybe 1, maybe 2 videos about the whole thing, and that's it. And you never heard from it ever since. We don't even know if she still has the RV. That was a grift. And she's like, do you know how thankful I'd be if you bought a home? It'd be the same as getting the just giant 5th wheel RV that was worth over $100,000. She'll forget about it. She'll move into the home and she'll feel like I am owed this. I've done good things for Sanfilippo syndrome. I'm owed this. That's what she honestly believes. She said it with her own words, that she is owed these things. She's not going to be grateful. She'll be thank you so much, and then she'll move on to the next grift. Again, could you make a GoFundMe? I don't feel comfortable. I think it's a pride thing. Well, clearly you figured it out. So now if we head over to the Reddit, which is, it's called Online Beggars, but Online Beggars has really actually become the place that's just people begging off of their terminally ill children. That's really what it is. And Haidyn's Hope and Bree Stronger Than Cancer are the 2 biggest ones that are being talked about right now. I posted this thing that says Haidyn's Hope questionable vehicles. I've been hearing that they both drive luxury vehicles. So here you go. Apparently, allegedly, and there are photo proof in this thread, she drives a at least 2022 Suburban RST extended cab because they need the big space for the child, right? The wheelchair and everything else, and I get that, right? A van wouldn't do, which it would actually, but you know, you need the Suburban. And a Suburban RST, which is a vehicle that I drive, and so I know how much these are well over $100,000, okay? Close to it. Like they're itching the 80, between 80 and 110,000 depending on the trim that you get. Okay? So she's driving let's just call it $100,000 Suburban, okay? Which she didn't pay for with cash. She's financing that. Okay? So that's a $1,000 bill right there per month. Look down here. Carrie drives a 2022 or newer Suburban that has at least a 1,000 note on it. The Altima she bought her daughter runs $500 to $600 a month. So not only does she drive a Suburban, but these people who can't afford a mortgage bought their daughter a brand new Altima. Not a used beater, which a teenager should have. I mean, if you're going to get a car, here's a beater. Enjoy it, right? No. Got to get her a brand new vehicle that they finance before she's even done high school. I have to brag on H's big sister for a minute. She will be 16 in a few more weeks, and we were able to purchase her first car this weekend. She's such a wonderful daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. She excels in everything, blah, 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 blah. My mama heart isn't ready for her to be so independent. Well, she doesn't sound like she's independent if you're buying her a vehicle. Okay, anyway. And then someone said just add insurance on top of that. So not only that, so that's 2 vehicles where they're spending, let's say, at least $1,600 a month so far. Okay, $1,600. This really sealed it for me. Parents are both okay, anyway, thank you for the sweets. We appreciate it. She blocked me on all socials. Reverse image comes back to a 2025 Nissan Altima. So they're able to buy the older daughter a brand new car for her first car. I'm also not understanding why all these people are begging, needing a new home. If they're in the market to move and truly can't afford it and are going to beg, why not beg for the 20% down payment? Why is everyone who pays for rent or mortgage supposed to furnish these families with some place to live for $0? I literally cannot afford to move. I want to. I, like everyone else, have issues and a sick child. I live in a really shitty city, but guess what? I'm stuck here because that shit is on me. I'm not complaining or begging. Wait, they have a 5th wheel and they're asking for a house? Greedy. Yeah, I don't know if they still have that, right? They sold their home. Maybe they sold this gifted 5th wheel as well. A 5th wheel that was free, mind you, and replaced a different one that Haidyn got from Make-A-Wish Foundation. Carrie said she had outgrown medically. So Camping World replaced it in exchange for promo, which Carrie did like twice and hasn't posted about it in a long time. Someone says, I can see the 5th wheel near their house in Google Maps, though. So they must still have it as recently as the satellite image was taken. That could be up to a year. So I asked for the address because I want to see the house that they lived in. So here's her Suburban that she worked, and it's literally, I have the exact same vehicle, same color, and same rims and everything. So I know. And then here's the inside of it, and it's got the moonroof. So the trim package is really, really, really high. Look at the color of the seats. Look at the roof. It's not even a moonroof. It goes all the way back. It's crazy, okay? Beautiful vehicle. Suburbans are not 200,000. Yeah, they're not. They're 100,000. Is it wheelchair accessible? If so, it's not wheelchair accessible. She said it's not. She says she doesn't want a wheelchair accessible van so she can continue to use her muscles and stay strong. Right? She wants a flex vehicle is what it is. Sounds like she just wants a nice car for her, and that's exactly what she got. And then here's their 5th wheel. Okay. Can I book a campsite yet? So this is well over $100,000. Well over 100,000. And here is the truck that tows it. And this is a big effing Ford super cab, big giant car, which is also worth well over $100,000. Okay. That's got the Cummins emblem too. It's an expensive truck and has to be 2022 or newer since it has the new front end. Yes, this is the one I saw the other picture. Not a cheap truck by any means. Okay. 2 RVs. So why can't they live in this? They don't need to. They are currently living in an in-law suite in her in-laws' 12,000 square foot house. Carrie calls it the basement, but it's set up like an actual apartment with a full kitchen, huge rooms, and private entrance walkout patio. I have an address and screenshots I could send you. The one Carrie wants to buy hasn't been listed yet, and I'm not 100% sure of the address. Okay. Someone has the pictures of the home, so it is a very, very large home. I'm living in an RV with a car from 2006. Why do people think they're entitled to all this? I can't with her. Please buy me a house, even though my car add up to the cost of the house. So this again, she's got 3 vehicles, all are financed. All are 2 of them are well over, or at least close to $100,000. One is well over $100,000, and then another vehicle which is probably around $30,000. Now that right there is a mortgage. So if you can't afford a mortgage, Carrie, how can you afford 3 vehicles and pay the note on 3 vehicles, right? All driving luxury vehicles around, the fuel it costs to get them, the insurance it costs to have all that stuff, and yet she's here saying, I can't get a mortgage. I think that you're lying. Okay, why did you sell your home? Again, why did she sell her home? I don't know. Maybe someone has a great enough excuse. Maybe it was for medical debt. Someone says they obviously have a lot to hide. I think we're underestimating how much free shit these people get. My friend was a manager at Camping World and told me how much was donated. She's so visible and goes to these places, so I think dealerships feel pressured. I agree with that. And here, on her Haidyn's Hope page, Haidyn's Extraordinary Garden called San Filippo Syndrome, Amazon Echo, here's Amazon, here's the cure, the link, testing for Good Morning America, Haidyn's Hope merch, love Haidyn's shirts, Haidyn's activity chair, shower bath, so she gets a kickback and anytime someone buys something on this, right? Haidyn's medical stroll wheelchair, Haidyn's travel harness, Haidyn's this, so she gets money for all this, right? Which I'm not against that. Okay, you're gonna link that stuff. Cool. People are gonna buy it. Someone get it. So here's Haidyn Strong. Here's her backup. 145,000 subscribers on that one. And if we go back to Reddit, someone also found this. Carrie's husband, Haidyn's Hope, owns almost 18 acres of property. I said 160. I meant to say 18. It was 160,000. My bad. But this is it. Someone went digging and found 17.8 acres. Current year market value $160,000. And they own this. They own this big piece of giant property. And they're begging for a $400,000 home when they already own property. Sell the fucking property worth $160,000 and put it as a down payment on your home. They're not willing to do that. They're literally just greedy. They're holding on to everything. They're driving luxury vehicles, buying their daughter brand new cars, living in a 12,000 square foot basement, which is basically an apartment, a beautiful house probably, with hundreds of acres, with like golf carts and everything that they need, and has a giant fifth wheel RV, which we don't ever see them use, right? And now has 18 acres sitting there, and they're just like, oh, also give us a home. Like, that's why people are upset, Carrie, and she knows it. Trust me, people are going to find it. And she's begging for almost $500,000 to buy a house. She said that they have land they were going to build on, but haven't been able to afford, and it's complicated. Doesn't get into it, right? I went nosing around, found the property tax records from the actual county website. Make of it what you will. This does not look good for someone who's asking the public to give her $400,000. And again, removed the language, unless I'm missing it, that she was going to return everything if she didn't raise the full fund. She removed that language. One thing is fact, Reddit will dig out every single skeleton, car, property, and grift in your closet. And that's why y'all are my people. There you go, Reddit. Reddit can solve a case faster than TikTok did baby Emmanuel's recently. TT pegged the parents at first sight. Wonder what lie shall come up to cover her ass. I knew they couldn't afford that house. They just feel like they owed it because they're... I knew they could afford that house. They just feel like they are owed because their daughter, which is sickening. They absolutely could afford it, and what she's doing is deplorable. Between the property they own, the vehicles, his income, her social media income, a gifted 60,000 RV, that's way more than 60,000. Side-by-sides, they have side-by-sides, those are 15,000 a pop. Living in a huge house with their own 3,000 square foot space, with family that's nicer than most of us live, probably rent-free too. These are not financially struggling people. Yes, they have a disabled child with terminal prognosis, but that does not give them the right to fool caring members of the public into giving them hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what they're doing. They are grifting. They are fooling people. They're making people feel guilty for their problems. They have side-by-sides. The f***ing audacity. 3,000 square foot is more space than most people will ever have. The in-laws house they live in is between 10 to 12,000 square feet per publicly available property records. Carrie loves to say they've been staying in the basement, but it's actually more like a huge apartment with a full kitchen, big rooms, private entrance, and patio. We said that before. She loves saying they're living in the basement because that brings images of damp, dark, slightly scary, impossible spiders everywhere. That's all a lie. It's a fully furnished, really great looking area with tons of room. Damn, her in-laws are well off. The basement is bigger than my house. They are filthy rich. It's not a basement. It's a massive guest apartment. Crazy how she's making out like they're suffering that basement when many people would kill for that, especially since they probably aren't even paying anything for it. There you go. No one likes them locally. Do tell more. Why aren't they liked? We need this tea. That's what I keep hearing. Because they're grifting. They're driving around in their four-wheelers. Their husband's out there working as an electrician. They make a lot of money, and they're starting to realize these people are way better off than almost everybody. And they are using their platform to beg for money and making people feel guilty about it. The problem is that it's a terminally ill child at the center of this that they're grifting off of. That's the problem here. They don't need the money, but they're doing it anyway. In this economy, at this point, the only thing preventing me from getting rich is having morals. If they sold this property, they could put an incredible down payment on a house and have a very low mortgage. But they can't get a mortgage, right? But they can get 3 finance for vehicles. That's weird, right? So you have enough credit to get vehicles, but not to get a mortgage? I think what happens is they got all the vehicles, and now they're out of, like, monthly income. They're like, well, we can't give you a mortgage because there's this, whatever it's called, you have to have a certain amount of income set aside for your mortgage. Sell your fucking vehicles. Get rid of your vehicles. Go buy used vehicles. If you really want your child, you'll do anything for your child to die in her own home. If you'll do anything, then take a hit and drive shittier vehicles. Sell your RV, sell your land, go buy the home. She's not willing to let go of all that they have, right? She's so deserving of it. She's sitting in that chair making it sound like she's living the worst life ever. She's living better than most people live and is grifting off of her terminally ill child. This should make you mad, folks. I just said another thread. Where'd all their money go selling their last house? They spent 6 years completely rent-free. Most likely bill-free as well. Where has all the money gone? And like, why can't they sell this land and put towards a dream house? Nothing adds up to me, and it's so disgusting. I'd kill to have spent 6 years completely rent-free, and most likely groceries for free too, plus free childcare from grandparents. Where's all this money gone? My best guess is sitting in their savings account and investing in the stock market. No, if they have side-by-sides and a bunch of bullshit, they're spending their money like water. She just doesn't want to spend it if she can on her parasocial followers by manipulating their sympathy for Haidyn. Same reason she won't sell that $160,000 plot of land to use her own money to build that house. Again, if they have, that's the land they probably want to build the house on. So this isn't it. This isn't their forever home. They're going to get this home. They're going to buy it. When she dies, they're going to sell it and build their dream property on their lot. That's what they're going to do. I knew something was sketch when she said that. Honestly, influencers should consider the Reddit detectives before they post anything, especially when asking for such a humongous amount of money. Sadly, their mindless fans won't care. They've been taken advantage of, but they still won't care. Again, I want to know why she's removed the language about turning the money if she doesn't raise it all. That's fucking shitty. Here's a link to the property tax website for anyone who wants to look at themselves. This is a 100% record. So this is the property that they live in right now. This is where they live. This is the fucking property they live on. And they want to buy the little cabin that's probably over here or something. I don't know. They probably live in this massive property right here. This is where they live. Between $318,000 and $968,000. Look at the property that they live on. We need to live in a better house. So this is the home that they live in now. It's got a walkout, 12,000, like it's huge. So this is where they live right now. Like, I don't want to hear about it. I'm curious why they didn't ask for a down payment because they could afford it. Like, who pays for a house? I think it's, yeah, they want the whole thing. They can't. They have outstretched their credit so far on brand new luxury vehicles that they can't get a home. But she's like, I'll do anything except for live with less vehicles. That's it. A $1 million home in rural Georgia they're loaded. I was just posting a screenshot of blocking out the screen address. Reddit has shut down snark forums for posting actual addresses. That's actually wow. The audacity is just wow. I started following you years ago. I'm done with grifters like her. Reddit has been a wake-up call to a lot of these fake asses. She must be reading here because she turned her comments off. She addressed this in the comments on her thread. They own it, but building on it was an issue. There was also a reason they couldn't sell it. I'll see if I could find it. Edited ad. She turned off the comments, so it's gone. I think the reason she couldn't sell it had to do with it being family land owned by multiple people. So, sell your share to the other people. Even if they can't build on the land right now, they still own it. It's still a $160,000 asset, fully paid for, that they could use to secure a bank loan or at least a down payment. Also, presumably at some point, she will be able to build on it or sell it, so that makes Carrie's issue more about timing and not need. She wants her free house now. And when she does sell the land, What will she do with the extra $160,000 she may get when she sells? Donate that money to research? No. She will quietly deposit in her bank account. Maybe if Carrie allows people to comment and she reads comments, she will realize how fortunate she is in many aspects. So she's deleting comments. She's shutting her comments down. And this is a post that she made. I won't be responding to any more comments, but I know I love you. But no, I love you and I thank you. I will continue creating thank you posts and showing my gratitude. There's so much good in the world. Again, so this is Haidyn's hope. We're not done covering this. We're going to follow this frickin' grift all the way to the end. I think that you need to share this video, and everybody needs to get out there and start sharing this so people stop giving her money. She doesn't deserve it. She's grifting. She has enough money. She has luxury vehicles. She has RVs. She lives in a massive house, in $1 million house in Georgia. They don't need it. She just wants it. There's no need for it whatsoever. All of her excuses are stupid. Imagine saying, oh, I don't want my child to die amongst family members that love her. That's so stupid. That's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard in my life, right? She just wants money. She has a $160,000 property, 18 acres. They have a $100,000 RV, fifth wheel. They have two luxury vehicles in a normal Ultima that's brand new. Okay, and they have side by sides. Apparently, they've got all these off-road vehicles. They got all these fun things around the home. They're spending their money and they're just begging people online to do it. It is a grift and it needs to stop. And you need to at least go to the GoFundMe and like trigger this. Be like, she is raising money and she doesn't need it. That should be fraud. Because if you're lying about what you're raising it for and that you can't afford, that's just, you're lying. So go flag that GoFundMe. Stop giving money to it. And everybody, I need you to ask her, since she's blocked me because she's a coward ass. Okay, go ask her why she removed the language about giving it all back if she doesn't raise enough money. Where's that language? Why did that go away? That's very interesting to me. Everybody, take a deep breath. Can we stop the fucking cancer grifting for children? That's absolutely mind-boggling. There are many, many, many places out there that will help you out. The fact that they get that and then stack it on top of this is crazy, and they will. She is a greedy bastard, and people are falling for it, and she needs to be exposed, everybody. Like, there needs to be articles written about this. This is crazy. Don't give people like this money. They already have a lot. Again, taking advantage of people and their feelings who likely don't have a lot of money, because there's so many comments in there that have been like, I don't have much, but here's what I have. Ew, right? Ew, she doesn't need it, but she's taking from those who don't have, and she's cool with it. That's disgusting. But you're not disgusting. You're amazing, incredible, and valuable. Don't you damn well forget it, okay? And I'll see you when I see you.